Earlier this month, UNISA made a dramatic announcement that became the first university on the South African continent to acquire an airport. The aviation community sat up and took notice. The media went to investigate, and what they found raised more questions than answers. A 900-meter airstrip in Bronkhorstspruit, minimal infrastructure, no SACAA accreditation confirmed, no purchase price disclosed, and a university that, by its own design, teaches students remotely. UNISA fired back at the criticism, calling the media coverage petty and uninformed. So, who is right? And what is actually going on? Let's Wing It sat down with Professor Dube from UNISA to get the full story directly from the source.
Cleared for takeoff. This is Let's Wing It.
And Prof. Dube joins me now. It's so great to have you. And he's dressed in his full-on attire. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, Captain, I was going to say Captain Dube is going to join us. I don't know what's going to be. Is it Prof or Captain Dube this morning?
You can switch in between.
Just to give a bit of a variety. It's great to have you with us. So tell us a little bit about yourself just before we get into the acquisition of the airstrip and so on. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're actually a pilot as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I am a pilot. I'm a commercial pilot. I'm working on my instructor rating now as we speak. I'm also a professor of international law at the University of South Africa. I'm in the College of Law. I also assist with the mainstreaming of the aviation catalytic niche area across all the UNISA colleges.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where do you operate from? Where do you fly from?
I usually fly from right here, from Vanderboom.
Oh, you're based in Vanderboom as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I do a lot of flying though from Springs and Rand as and when required to do so.
Yes. I'm going to do the hard thing. I'm going to ask the first hard question. What's your favorite aircraft to fly?
Oh my goodness, I haven't flown it yet. It's an Airbus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Is that the plan for you as well, eventually sometime?
Sometime in the future, yes.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Oh, man, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Right, so let's get into it. At the very beginning, I want to start with what exactly is it that UNISA acquired? Give us a rundown of that.
Right, there's an airfield in the east of Pretoria called Zenkral, about plus minus 900 meters hard surface runway, which is good for the operations we intend to utilize it for. So that particular facility is an operational aerodrome. It has been cleared in the past by the regulator to operate. There are some ATOs that operated there in the past. Then there is a fuel farm as well on the actual airfield itself that will be good for operations going forward. There are existing hangars that are there, mostly the old type, the T-type of hangars where you push your aircraft in with the tail and the wings come out towards the front. But there's also a lot of space to utilize for future development. That involves the building of further hangars to generate revenue from that we could rent out to other aircraft owners who want to operate from that field. And it's a field that you can also utilize for other ATOs that want to come on board and operate from there. So that's basically the picture of what we have purchased as a university.
Why has UNISA, just out of curiosity, been reluctant to name the airfield that has been acquired up until now?
I am not sure, to be honest with you.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And do you also know, because I know there's a lot of people asking about that, just the amount that has been paid by UNISA for the airfield, do you know what that is, more or less?
I'm not sure about the actual amount because that was handled by the Vice Principal's office, the Vice Principal responsible for estates. So I have not touched base with them on the actual amount that was paid.
Okay,
right. But of course, it's an airfield. It's going to be in the millions.
Yes. Yeah. So the deal has been done. It's been closed. Everything's been taken care of. So tell us a little bit about the facility and its current operational state as of today, as we're speaking now.
As of today, we can lift off Vanderboom direct to the airfield and land and then take off again. It's that operational. The runway is maintained. It is serviceable. On your approach, there are no obstacles that will mess you up. On your takeoff, there are no obstacles that will mess you up. It is a fully functional airfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And the type of training that you will be offering there, let's get into that because, I mean, there's a lot of people that says we're not entirely sure. Are you going to be doing PPL training, CPL training, ATPs? Is it more engineering? I know you're going to touch on the drone side as well. So is it more going to be technical engineering or is it going to be everything aviation related?
All right. I'm going to take it from the top. When Professor Nkabula, joined UNISA as the principal and vice chancellor, she initiated 10 niche areas around which the university must pivot itself. These include marine studies, they include health studies, includes the square kilometer array, includes space studies, includes aviation, includes energy, and many others. The automotive engineering as well is included there. So as a university, we're positioning ourselves around those 10 catalytic niche areas. When it comes to aviation, we are aligning ourselves with the stance that the International Civil Aviation Organization has taken. And that stance basically says aviation goes beyond the cockpit. Aviation goes beyond the airplanes I'm wearing. It goes beyond the wings I'm wearing. Before I take off, somebody must sit at the tower and tell me you're cleared to take off. That's still aviation. Before that even happens, somebody must have maintained the grounds to make sure the taxiway is clear of any obstacles, the markings are clear, the signage is clear, and so forth and so forth. Before I do all of that, I must have checked the weather. I must have read the meter and the TAFs to see what's happening in the airfield. That aviation guy, that weather guy, is also plugging into the aviation ecosystem. So we are taking that approach that aviation is holistic. It's not simply the guy sitting in the cockpit. Yes, we have bought an airfield, but we're building an ecosystem around that airfield. I referenced ICAO in the beginning. And why did I do that? ICAO as the international body that advises states on how aviation should develop has established the NGAP program, the Next Generation of Aviation Professionals. Under that program, ICAO has certain statistics on how many pilots were shot off in the world, how many ATC, how many cabin crew, and so forth and so forth. And the deficit is huge. Yes. The world is in need of aviation personnel. Yes. But ICAO has said that at the moment, what states have done, they've pumped money into the lower sector, that is the youth. They've said, make the girl child fly, transform the industry. They've pumped money into that in terms of scholarships and bursaries. And as we speak now, the skills are not as scarce amongst the youth. And then you move on to the top. At the very top, the skills are loaded there. And that's the cluster of people who are about to retire. And they're about to go home with all the skills. What you then get left with is the middle. Yes. What we call the missing middle. Yeah. In the middle, there's a group of people working in airports, working for tourism companies, working for aviation weather companies, working for all sorts of players in the industry who do not have the necessary skills that the industry requires. And ICAO is saying, let us focus there. The airport manager who already has a BCom, but does not have specific training on how to manage Vanderboom, that's where the problem lies. The person employed by AXA to do their books, who already has an accounting degree, but does not have an aviation-specific approach to accounting, that's what we must focus on. So the missing middle is what ICAO is urging every role player to focus on. And UNISA has taken that and is running with it. And UNISA is saying, we will create an ecosystem, an educational ecosystem that caters for all required skills beyond just the cockpit. So you start from pilot training, from your PPL level to CPL to ATP.
Which you are going to do?
We will definitely do that.
New facility, right?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. Okay. That's part of the future planning.
Yes.
Of course, we're going to start with, we won't do everything at once. Yes. Otherwise, there will be confusion. We will go for the low-hanging fruits, which we, for instance, if I say low-hanging fruits, we already have modules and programs within UNISA right now, formal programs, whether it's a master's or an honors degree that is geared towards aviation. We're simply strengthening that by bringing in more aviation-related modules. For instance, in my college, the College of Law, we are developing a master's in aviation law. It's both an LLM, which will cater for lawyers coming in with an LLB. And then we have an MPhil that we're developing that will cater for those who are coming in from other disciplines, whether you're coming in with a Bachelor of Engineering, but as long as it is NQF level 8, you can then be absorbed into the Masters, the MPhil, because you're coming from a non-legal background. And then we have PhDs as well. So we have lots of that going on around the university right now in the different colleges where we are equipping existing qualifications and also developing new ones completely from scratch to answer the call that ICAO has given us. So that's what we will be doing in pivoting everything around the airfield. On the engineering side, of course, it would be lovely for us in the future to have an ATO operating, rather than ATO and an AMO operating from that field, so that we can have students taking apart these engines, taking apart these aircraft structures, and assembling them again, as part of their practical training. Cabin crew as well, we hope to train them there. Then drone pilot operators, we will have to train them as well at some point. But if you go further into the future, this is a huge project that could include your ground handling facilities as well, to train people on all those things, dangerous goods and so forth and so forth.
Yes.
As far as the market demands of us to train, we will definitely make plans to train those people.
I think one of the questions that I saw being circulated as well was the question that arose. It said, but why not make use of something like, let's say, for instance, Grand Central or Vonneeboom or Lanseria? Why not partner with them? Why specifically buy a new airfield for that? What was the reason for that?
You see, there's a business case to be made for either side. But if you look at the leaders in the industry, like let's take Ethiopian Airlines, for instance, and take Ethiopia itself. From a land that was, full of famine in the 80s, I grew up thinking all Ethiopians are dying of hunger, because that was the case back then, and that was before the internet. And as children, we only read reports on the situation in Ethiopia. Then, boom, Ethiopia creates one of the biggest airline in Africa, servicing all routes, both cargo and passenger. And how did they do it? They had to be innovative. They created an entire ecosystem. You land at Bole International in Ethiopia, on an Ethiopian aircraft. You get picked up by a shuttle run by Ethiopian Airlines, takes you to a hotel, 5-star hotel, run by Ethiopian Airlines. And they have their own university where they churn out degrees and diplomas, and they train their pilots as well. They come out with a certificate, either in business management or aviation management or something like that, a diploma or a BCom, and they're also pilots. Why not create the same thing as a university? Why not be a pioneer in Africa to do this as a higher education institution? Ethiopian Airways did it because they are an airline. They realized we need to create our own university, our own academy. And UNISA has looked at that. It's happening in the north. It's happening in the west as well. America has many examples of that happening. And we are simply being pioneers and saying we can only take the industry forward if we think outside the box, if we think outside what an ordinary university thinks about. An ordinary university would say, let's go to Grand Central and have a partnership, which is good. It can work. The infrastructure is already there. But UNISA wants to own and build the system from the ground up, because we want to ensure that we deliver a complete range of aviation related qualifications without limitations. We own the facility. We can develop it as we want.
For students, though, having to travel out there, have you maybe thought about that as well? Maybe the distance traveling out there?
Look, remember, most of our students are distance learning students, which will have to be tailored specifically for this particular program, because aviation requires you to be hands-on. Yes, you can do ground school virtually. That component, you can still manage it wherever you are. But then when it comes to the practical side of things, you do have to be on the ground in the facility. And in terms of the question that you raised, students traveling to the airfield, UNISA is not just based in Pretoria. We have campuses in Durban, in Cape Town, in East London, in Polokwane, in Mpumalanga, in Middleburg, so many, Pietermaritzburg. So our students are used to mobility because we service the whole of South Africa. We even have a campus in Pretoria, in Ethiopia as well. And we have some projects running in Eritrea as well as a university where we service students there. So they're used to moving about. It will definitely not be a problem.
Yes, yeah. Well, that answers the question. And that brings us to today's Wing Tip, brought to you by Exam Revolution. If you're busy with your ground school studies, here's a deal you don't want to miss. WhatsApp 066 012 3521 with the code word WingTip and get 15% off your next ground school course. Here's Giannis from Exam Revolution with your Wing Tip for today.
Hey guys, Giannis here from Exam Revolution. Wing Tip of the day. In a specie, how would you decode the following? R01/1300 VP 2000D, and R01 1000V 1400U for uniform. Okay, firstly, let's take this one. This means that the runway 01 runway visual range, so how far you can see down the runway, is varying between 1,300 meters and 2,000 meters. That's what the V stands for, okay? But it has a downward trend, so it's probably going to become lower and lower and lower. That's what the D stands for. There's a downward trend. The P just means that the runway visual range currently is more than 1,500 meters. Okay, that's that one. The next one, runway 01, the runway visual range is varying between 1,000 and 1,400 meters, and the U means that it has an increasing tendency, so it's probably going to become better and better and better. That's what these two mean.
From takeoff to landing, we've got you covered. Stay with us.
So going forward as well, I mean, you did say that you're probably going to look at rolling out an ATO, approved ATO, according to SACA regulations and so on going forward. So the question is then, that will still be a process that will still be coming into place for now. So what would be the first step or the first phase at Zainkrol as of now? What will be the very first thing that you will start rolling out there and start infrastructure-wise, etc.? What will happen at Zainkrol, the first phase or the first part?
Look, the first part would be to repurpose the infrastructure to suit the needs of a higher education institution which is involved in aviation training. Because let's face it, yes, there are existing buildings, there are existing hangars and a clubhouse that's more of a terminal. But as a higher education institution, we have different needs from an ATO, a normal ATO. A normal ATO just needs a hangar and a little office and it can run.
Yes.
We have different officers that need to be housed in any particular setup. So the first thing would be to do an airport master plan to ensure that the airport is strategic. There's the strategic planning around the estate to ensure that it takes care of all our needs. For instance, depending on the operations that we will eventually decide to carry out of there, the fuel farm will need to have a look and see if it services the needs going forward, because it did service the needs of the ATO that was operating there, but will it service ours? The building of laboratories where we'll test systems, where we'll design systems on the drone side, on the unmanned side, whether it's propulsion systems for those unmanned aircrafts, whether it's materials research to find components which are lighter and therefore fuel efficient for the drones that will be designed and then flown in that particular space.
So let's get to the SACA approvals, because I mean both of us know everything is highly regulated industry, the aviation industry, and everything needs to be approved and signed off and so on. So the acquisition, has that gone together with the SACA approvals for everything that you're looking to take place or looking to train eventually? And then obviously I suppose going forward you will just start applying for the new licenses that you will require to go forward.
Yes, I think the focus will be on applying for the new, operations that need to be done there, because the airfield was already zoned and approved for flight training previously. Even right now, it is an airfield that is registered, that has all the approvals. But what is necessary is once we have mapped out our airport master plan and we know the sequencing, because the sequencing will be important. What is it that we want to do first? Because there's lots of things we need to do, but we need to decide on the sequencing. What comes first, followed by what? And that will be informed by market forces and what we seek to achieve out of that particular sequence that we choose.
Yeah. I think there's a whole lot of students sitting and listening to you now. Captain, was it Captain or Prof? I'll call you Captain Prof Dube today. Saying, but what is the timeline? Like, I think there might be a few people that is really excited now. They want to get part of this. They want to be a part of this, especially having the airfield facilities available now, and they want to get into this. What is the timeline? When can the first students expect to be accommodated at the brand new facility to start their training? Have you got an idea?
No, that's a difficult question to answer because we're talking about processes, some of which are outside the control of UNISA. But all we can say is that UNISA, being a stickler for conformity to regulation, we will ensure that all regulations, as required by our legal framework, we tick the box when
Yeah.
it comes to that. Yeah. So it's difficult to say when exactly.
Yeah. Have you got more or less an idea of how many students you can easily accomplish at the airfield at Zainkrol currently? Like how many students can realistically have in there at a certain amount of time doing training at once?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But we can take a considerable number of students. If we were to just operate without first expanding the existing infrastructure, because the existing infrastructure there includes classrooms and briefing rooms that already existed, that were used before by the previous ATO. So we can take a very good number of students. We can operate not like a little small startup and ATO, but we can operate like an established one.
Yeah. I know there was a very controversial, the Citizen put out an article about the whole acquisition, and then they paid a visit to the Zainkrol airstrip and so on. And there was a lot of things that's been said. I know UNISA strongly responded to that article as well. Maybe just a word from your side as well, just to regarding that, because I mean, even UNISA may be saying that it's pettiness and call the journalists cowardly, which is really hard words after a visit like that. Maybe just your response on that.
Look, the investors already spoken, issued an official press statement, so I cannot pronounce on that.
Yeah.
Let me rather not pronounce on that, because the investor has spoken on that particular issue. Yeah.
Right. Paint us the picture, right? If you had your way in the next 5 years at this brand new facility, what would it look like?
Oh, in the next 5 years, this will be servicing Africa. I'm talking students from Uganda, from Kenya, from India. I'm talking students from Qatar. I'm talking students from the Emirates, from wherever across the world, coming here to South Africa to enjoy our sunny skies, where we fly almost 365 days of the year because we have good weather. I'm talking, drone pilots being churned out. I'm talking cabin crew. I'm talking drones designed by us, with propulsion systems designed by us.
So are you looking at manufacturing drones, right? Obviously.
Look, we need to go into research and development and produce this, because right now, almost every drone we fly, maybe 98%, is Chinese. And let us not close our eyes to the fact that no matter how universal an instrument is, there are some regional nuances, some local geographic nuances that give you an advantage. If you're a local designer compared to a designer sitting in China, we can design better for our natural context here. Plus, remember, drones utilize systems that go into the privacy spectrum. We do not know for real, how far the violation of privacy occurs with the machinery that we use, because we don't design it. We simply plug and play.
Yes.
And it's necessary for us to design things for ourselves, because there is a saying that goes, it's either you innovate or perish. I think you remember the phone called Nokia.
Yes.
Today, it's a relic. My children don't know it, because by the time they came, it was no more. But it was once a leader. And so was Kodak, the camera. Today, it's a nobody. It has been overtaken. Right now, we're using Canon, which has managed to innovate and keep up with the demands of the time. So we are saying, as a university, we're not going to be static. We've been around for more than 152 years.
Yes.
We innovated way before COVID forced everybody to deliver education by distance. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We had all the systems in place to ensure quality. Even with this, we are innovating. We are saying this university will, begin something so great on the continent that others will wish they had done it. The airfield is a good airfield. The runway is of good length. 900 meters for the type of aircraft we want to fly there is very good. Even a Cessna Caravan can take off and land there. It just needs about 650 meters to actually take off.
Stunning aircraft.
So,
I love a Caravan, man. I'm a huge fan.
It's a beautiful machine.
It's a beautiful machine. Yeah. So typically, again, it might change eventually, but the typical aircraft, you said the Caravan, are you going to look at acquiring a Caravan as well? Maybe Cessna's Pipers and stuff like that?
Yeah, we're going to start with Cessna's Pipers for just ordinary initial training all the way up to COM and ATP.
Yes.
And then throw in some light twins for twin engine rating, multi-engine rating. But yes, if needs be, why not a caravan? It depends on what the market demands, because we need to respond to the demands of the market.
Yeah.
Because this airfield itself was a response to the demand of the market. The market demands aviation skills, which are hard to come by.
Huge now.
Yeah,
It's massive.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's massive currently.
And we are saying, look, across the university, there's so many skills. There's so many people, professors who know weather through and through, professors who know the law through and through, professors who know navigation systems through and through. You can already tell that engineering through and through. You can already tell that if we start an ATO, the amount of knowledge that will be gotten from a ground school on our side will be immense.
Yeah, no, I can believe that.
Yeah.
So the single most thing that you would like the South African aviation community to take out of this interview today and the announcement of UNISA acquiring the airstrip, what would that be from you?
From me, it will firstly be that change is difficult. This is change. It requires change management. UNISA is doing something which is outside the norm. It's challenging the status quo. It's challenging the norm, how things are done normally. There's an ATO, it sits in that hangar, end of story. Now, here comes UNISA wanting to supply every skill required on this aerodrome, and that's likely to make some people uncomfortable. It's likely to make some people question whether this is real, because they've not seen it before. But that doesn't mean it is wrong. It doesn't mean it can't be done. That doesn't mean it's just a dream. It means we're innovating. It means we're daring to dream. We're daring to do what is perceived as the impossible. So what I would like to put out there to the industry is that UNISA has the skills. I'm a professor of international law myself. I'm trained in business management as well. I'm a qualified commercial pilot. There are skills. There are other people with skills within the university itself. Plus, there are other people out there that the university is going to recruit for the skills that we need that we don't have.
Okay, right. Because I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, going forward.
When you start an operation of this nature, yes, you will rely on internal already acquired talent, but you must also go out and get other talent out there.
Yeah.
As dictated by the needs of what you're trying to build.
Yes, absolutely. There's students listening to this now. I can guarantee you now that says, please, I need to get in. What do I need? What do I do? How do I get involved in this program? How do I get involved in this system? Because I want to get myself maybe, you know what, it's like you said earlier, it's not about just the pilots. I mean, a lot of the guys likes the pilot, the way and the look and of it, and it lasts, everything's great. But the thing is, I mean, there might be people that says, you know what, I really want to get to the back end. I want to get to the engineering side of things. I want to be the next guy that challenges the biggest international, the Chinese supplier of drone systems with something that's manufactured in South Africa. We can have that. It can happen. So what can you say now to the students listening to you right now for them to get involved into these programs?
There are many pathways. For now, I want students to understand that in each of the fields that we offer in the different colleges at UNISA, there are components of aviation. In my field, for instance, last year alone, I produced 4 PhD students under my supervision, and 2 of those were writing in aviation law. One was looking at the unruly passenger regime and the powers of the PIC to contain that situation. And the second one was looking at the accident investigation system in South Africa post the crash of Zulu Sierra Charlie Alfa Romeo in George. And those are critical topical issues that we're dealing with today. And out of that, very good recommendations came out of those studies at PhD level on what we can do to improve those areas of aviation law. Right now, I'm supervising students in drone regulation, supervising students in harmonization of training standards across Africa. That is in the aviation sector, whether you're producing an ATC or producing a pilot. Why can't we have the same standard, just like the EASA model? I'm also supervising some students on airspace management and shared upper airspaces. So we are in each college, whether it's law or economic and management sciences or agriculture, environmental sciences, there are elements of aviation that are ongoing. Students need to be able to reach out to their leaders of the spaces, the deans, the distinguished professors in those various spaces, and any other professors that they see prominently on social media who are doing things related to aviation within the university. They will know, they will be guided on what to do next to plug into the aviation direction that the university is taking right now.
And ATC?
ATC, we are still, there's a lot we're doing there. We are developing a diploma for ATC.
Oh, really?
Yes.
As we speak now?
As we speak now, yes.
Wow.
It's still going to go through the stages of accreditation until we are able to deliver it. Yes, there is something in the works. Yeah.
Wow, UNISA is really diving into the aviation sector. That's really great.
Oh, yes. I was commenting on the draft just last week of that diploma. Yes.
More or less timeline?
Plus minus 12 to 18 months for the higher education department to actually approve these things.
Yeah.
And then we see how we align it with NSCAA expectations and requirements.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Right. Well, maybe contact details. Do you have any contact details that you could share for people wanting to get more info? Are there any contact details available from your side?
Yes. My email is dubeba, Delta Uniform Bravo Eco Bravo Alpha @unisa.ac.za.
All right, there you go. So if people want any more info, they can just go and contact you directly on email.
Yes.
So that's it from this episode of Let's Wing It. Prof. Captain Dube joining us this morning. Thank you so much for your time and informing us exactly on what's happening. It sounds really exciting, and I'll be honest with you, I would love to come and visit the facility at some point just to come and see what it's like and so on, and to see how it grows from what it is now up until where it's going to go next. And all the best for you guys, and may it be a huge and major success. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
All right. That's it for this episode of Let's Wing It. Till next time, see you again. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Blue skies, tailwinds, and more aviation adventures. See you in the next one.